Today, we are going to react to Jordan Peterson talking about his opinion of Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate.
This is going to be interesting.
I love this. Two top G's going at it together with opposing viewpoints. Let's see what he has to say, eh?
I mean, this is going to be super interesting because Andrew Tate is the most polarizing figure in the world, but Jordan Peterson has a massive following, and he tends to be more conservative and not as flamboyant. He just is very educational. So
the thing is, they're both conservative. They just say it in radically different ways.
Oh, it's 100% true.
Like recently, Andrew Tate Andrew Tate went on Candace Owens' podcast, or she interviewed him, and he said that he's super conservative.
Yeah.
All right. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So this is going to be 2 minutes. So we're just going to let it roll the whole time.
Opinions on Andrew Tate and the masculine movement happening in young men across the globe.
Sit back in that chair. There you go.
Looks like Two-Face, the Joker.
Funny looking tie.
Well, I really haven't said anything about Andrew Tate, and I probably won't tonight. But
yeah, you will.
Well, I'll make a few comments about the Andrew Tate phenomenon. I would say is that the mystery is there is a mystery in relationship to Andrew Tate, and the mystery is why is he so popular? And I think part of the reason he's so popular is because he doesn't easily bend a knee, so to speak.
Facts.
And it isn't obvious to me that he doesn't bend a knee because of his stellar moral character, but because I'm not particularly, what would you say, impressed by what he's done on the sex business front. It seems to me a bit on the pimpy side, let's say. And I'm not a great admirer of pimps.
Is that in the dictionary?
Absolutely made up word.
So, even if they're the electronic version, and so, but I don't know that much about the details of his life, and apart from that, rather casual diagnosis, I'm going to leave it alone. But there is a mystery there, and the mystery is, why has he captured the public imagination? And it's clear that he's become a voice, maybe like a kind of a violent rapper, same sort of attraction to young men. And
interesting.
That attraction is
comparison.
The attraction of what's the alternative to a kind of cringing defeat, and so maybe a forthright aggression is a preferable alternative to a cringing defeat. And I have some sympathy for that viewpoint,
Interesting.
So,
sympathy.
And I think Tate at least stands for that. And apart from that, I don't know enough about him or what he's done or what he stands for to comment.
Fair.
And so we'll leave it at that.
All right. Well,
Okay.
First and foremost, I think it's interesting how Andrew Tate has, Jordan Peterson, has 12 Rules for Life. That was the book that he put out and, went mega viral. New York Times still won't put him as a best-selling author, by the way.
Really?
But they refuse to do so. So he said that on
he's
a podcast.
Conservative.
Yeah, because he says things that they don't agree with. And
they're pretty woke.
Yeah, they're just a media machine, right? But Andrew Tate has the 41 tenets on his website about what he believes a true masculine man are and how you can become successful as a man. So they both go at it from a different perspective, but they're still saying the same message. Andrew's just more flamboyant and way over the top sometimes.
Well, let's go real quick into his claim about the webcam business.
Yes.
Because it's fascinating how Andrew Tate now talks about how he's super anti-porn, he's super
anti-masturbation,
mm-hmm. Women doing certain things to have to make a living in that way. Yeah. But yet that's kind of how he got so much of his wealth. So it's interesting. Well,
at the same point, though, he was on Candace Owens recently and said that he had to do what he had to do. And that's very controversial. And I don't agree with what he did. And I think deep down in his soul, he regrets the way he did it. But he was making a ton of money kickboxing as well. Like he won 87 professional fights before he even got into
you don't
that.
make that much
Yeah,
money.
you really
It's
don't.
Not
compared
mainstream.
to not compared to having women sit on a camera.
It's not really a mainstream thing like boxing is.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's interesting because even Tristan on one of his podcasts recently said that they're super anti-porn now. They will never go back into the webcam industry because they now believe it's negative. But he talked about taking advantage of the fact there is a market for it. So
Yeah, which I
what
totally
are the
disagree with.
morals of that? Because if you strongly disagree with the whole premise of that industry, but you made so much money and you still say to this day that you're not even going to apologize because you took advantage of what the market was.
Yeah,
So that's kind of interesting.
They don't think that men should apologize, and I totally disagree.
I disagree.
I
If you want a
disagree,
marriage,
too.
dude.
If you're,
However, I feel like I got to put in here. So Jordan is ultimately attacking what the Tates used to be. And I don't know if it's because he's educated on the fact that they've, started taking religion more seriously in their personal lives. Or maybe he does know that and he just chooses to ignore it because actions speak louder than words. But I imagine eventually the Tates are going to continue to grow in this journey that they're currently on when it comes to religion, and they will probably eventually feel more sorry about it later on down the road. Because, Andrew's kind of the leader of the two.
yeah, for sure.
So as he starts to take things more seriously, Tristan probably will as well.
Yeah, specifically, Tristan is Christian. He claims to be Christian.
Yeah.
And Andrew Tate is Muslim. So it's interesting that the two most famous brothers in the world have different religions.
Yeah.
It is very interesting, and they respect each other for having different viewpoints.
I truly believe that if you believe in God, which we're Christians, if you
Very
believe
big
in
Christians.
if you believe in Jesus, that naturally deep down in your soul there is a conviction that the Holy Spirit talks about, that conviction that comes in for even past things that you've done. And I think that what would make their message so much more powerful to young men is they talk about radical accountability, taking accountability for everything you've done wrong. Even if you don't think it's your fault, you still take accountability. But having radical accountability goes hand in hand with apologizing for taking accountability in the sense that I did this, it was wrong.
Yep.
I don't agree with it anymore. If I'm on a new path now, then I have to take accountability for that by the language that I use. Not just saying men should take accountability. It is actions, but words have power, especially with young men because they're very impressionable and they have to have that voice.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree. I imagine they're too smart to not eventually realize, like, man, we're preaching that women should, hold themselves of more value in terms of their sexual life, and men should seek women with lower body counts, but we ultimately didn't help that.
We didn't. We took advantage of it. And, you can't, even if women are on the screen, in the webcam business that he had, taking their clothes off, they took advantage of really lonely men that didn't have any other outlet. Instead of being on this cam with this girl, giving her hundreds of thousands of dollars, Andrew Tate said on Candace Owens that men literally gave their life savings away, and he didn't feel bad about it.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh my gosh.
And that's where I am completely against.
Well, one of the most important things is to understand that every public figure, there is good and bad that you can get from them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to agree with everything they say. We've even had feedback. We've even had a little bit of blowback on our own channel. People saying, "Oh, you support Andrew Tate. Oh my goodness." And we like aspects of him. We like some things he stands for, but we're not super, everything Andrew says is gospel. He said something back in the day on Fresh and Fit about how if you're in a relationship, it's okay to sleep with other women because it's all about who you provide for, and you're coming back to that one woman at the end of the day. That's not what women want. They don't want to feel like they're sharing you with 20 other women.
Good women that will have kids with you, build a family, has moral character, does not want a man.
I strongly disagree with that. The value that I've gotten from Andrew Tate is about your mindset, your mentality, that you are going to persevere and you are going to become a strong man. That's helped me out. I disagree with a lot of his other stuff, so we're not super pro Andrew Tate, but the value I've gotten from him, I'll watch his content because I've learned a lot.
This is what I hate is when people come to me and they say, you talked about Andrew Tate on your podcast, or you talked about him, you're promoting him. That's not what it's about.
That's not what it's about.
And the fact is, we're going to have future guests on our podcast and on our videos that we don't agree with, that have very different views than us.
Yep.
But it's about the conversation.
Yeah.
And it's also saying regardless of what they believe, we're open to hearing their perspective, and we grow as men when we bring people in that don't agree with us, that might, cause us to use those, our brain a little bit to maybe have a different perspective. And I think that goes hand in hand with the way that you treat women. Women deserve to be treated with so much honor that the very fact that as a man, you can't control yourself to not go out and sleep with other women, because if you are a really high value, good man that has moral integrity, you will have options.
Yeah, I'll create a clip for you real quick. I'm going to use their saying that they use all the time. It's like they will use the analogy of becoming a high-valued man is like wanting to enter a candy store and not being allowed to until you're X amount of age and you have X amount of money and so on and so forth. And then once you get into that candy store, you end up going buck wild because you've never been in there before. And that's how they tend to treat promiscuity, right? But see, my thing is, as a man, you should know by the time you get to that point that candy's bad for you, and you should search out steak instead.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, you should be trying to weed through all the candy to find the actual nutritional women that are out there.
Yeah, in a candy store, there's good candy, there's bad candy. Like, there is some candy out there that's healthy for you, but it's still really bad, right? At the end of the day, it's sugar. Which is the number one thing in the U.S. is diabetes is one of the biggest health conditions right now. So I agree with you. Just because the candy is available doesn't mean you have to take it. You should eat it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to indulge in it. That's called self-indulgence, and it's wrong.
Yeah.
There's no moral high ground as calling yourself religious, claiming to be Muslim, claiming to be Christian, and not outwardly making a statement saying that this is wrong what I did. That these women, just because I made tons of money doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
There's plenty of ways to make money that are completely wrong.
If I make $1 billion, but I compromise my moral character and who I am as a man, then I would not have peace with myself.
Your moral character...
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Your moral character is all you have as a man.
Yeah.
Your respect that you get from your community, from your subscribers that watch you, they trust that you know what you're doing, that you are a man of integrity, and that's the reason why they watch your content. Yep. But the Tates, they package it up in this really intellectual, way of saying it that is very emotionally charged, and it gets to the brain because they know how young men's brains work. They're not stupid. They know how pivotal their brains are, how impressionable they are. And they take advantage of that. I can publicly say that at times they have taken advantage of that because they know that if they use certain keywords, buzzwords, hit words, that they know that they can impress young minds. And men need to know you can have you do have options.
Yep.
If you're a good man that's making money, going out there doing your thing, and actually building something that lasts for your legacy, you will have options. Doesn't mean you have to take those options though.
I agree.
No, I think it's great, guys. Please comment, subscribe. We want to be able to do as many videos like this as possible. So the more you guys are engaged with us, it's going to help us get to that next level. So please subscribe, click that bell notification. But this was a great one, guys. We're going to be reacting more to different people. I think we're going to do a Candace Owens one soon. That's going to be powerful. Or we might have already released it. We'll find out. But just thanks, guys.
Write in the comments about what you disagree with Andrew Tate about. What do you agree with him about? What do you agree with Jordan Peterson about? We want to get a dialogue going. We're very open to commenting on what you guys are saying. We want to hear your feedback because we don't grow this channel unless you're with us. So make sure that you comment, subscribe. Let us know, what your thoughts are on Andrew Tate in general. It's a very hot topic right now, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.
Let's go.